Have you ever stepped out of a warm, refreshing shower, feeling clean and ready for the day, only to catch a faint, unpleasant scent that makes you pause? It's confusing, it's frustrating, and above all, it's embarrassing. You might ask yourself, did I miss something? Is it me? Or is this just what getting older smells like? Let me assure you, you're not alone. And no, this is not just an unavoidable part of aging. For many women over the age of 60, a lingering urine-like odor isn't about personal hygiene. It's about how our habits, our bodies, and even our clothing choices change over time. These are things we were never taught to question, and certainly never told how to fix. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 surprisingly common mistakes that may be causing you to smell less than fresh, even after a thorough wash. More importantly, I'll walk you through gentle, doctor-recommended solutions that truly work, without shame, without judgment, and without turning your routine upside down. So if you've ever felt self-conscious about a smell you couldn't explain, if you've quietly avoided hugs or worried someone might notice, stay with me, because what you're about to hear could change the way you care for your body and how you feel in your own skin, starting today. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. Ignoring tiny bladder leaks. It often begins so subtly we barely notice. A little leak when we laugh too hard, a drop or two during a sneeze, maybe a damp feeling after bending over or standing up too quickly. It seems harmless, easy to ignore. We chalk it up to getting older, or maybe having that second cup of coffee. And for a while, we do just that. Ignore it. We tell ourselves it's not a big deal. We change our underwear quietly. We spray a little perfume. We light a scented candle and carry on. But over time, those tiny leaks become something more. They leave behind moisture on our clothing, on our furniture, and eventually on our confidence. Even the smallest amount can carry a strong, unpleasant odor, especially if we're dehydrated or wearing non-breathable fabric. And still, many of us stay silent. We're too embarrassed to mention it, even to our doctors. Here's the truth. Light bladder leakage is incredibly common after age 60. You are not alone, and you are not doing anything wrong. The good news? There are gentle, effective solutions. Thin, discreet liners made for light leaks. Moisture-wicking underwear designed with your comfort in mind. And a little self-compassion goes a long way too. Because when we stop ignoring those little signals our bodies send us and start responding with care, we take back something powerful, our sense of dignity. And that's something no one should ever have to lose. Mistake number 2. The overlooked impact of dehydration. For years, I thought I was being smart. I drank less water, especially when I knew I'd be out and about or far from a restroom. Fewer sips meant fewer trips, right? I didn't want to deal with the inconvenience or the potential embarrassment of urgently needing a bathroom in the middle of a grocery aisle or a long drive. It seemed like a practical way to stay in control. But here's what I didn't know then. When you drink less water, your urine becomes darker, stronger, and much more concentrated. And even the tiniest leak, so small you might not even feel it, can leave behind a powerful odor that lingers on your skin, your clothes, and even the places you sit. At first I thought something was wrong with me. I blamed aging, or maybe even my detergent. I had no idea that my low water intake was quietly working against me every single day. When I finally started drinking water consistently throughout the day, not a lot, just small sips here and there, the difference was almost immediate. My body felt better, lighter, the smell faded, my skin even looked brighter. I didn't expect all of that from a glass of water, but it changed everything. So if you've been avoiding water to avoid the bathroom, I gently urge you to reconsider. because what you're holding back may be exactly what your body is begging for. Drink a little more. It's not just good hygiene, it's a quiet act of self-respect. Mistake number 3. Sitting too long in one spot. After I retired, my days naturally became quieter. I'd wake up, enjoy my coffee, maybe settle in with a crossword puzzle or a good book. And before I knew it, hours had passed. There were even days I stayed in my nightgown well into the afternoon. It felt peaceful, earned, and honestly, comfortable. But what I didn't realize was that this slow, sedentary routine was quietly affecting my hygiene, and not in a way I could see at first. When we sit for long periods, especially in soft chairs or cozy clothes, we create a warm, humid environment in the pelvic area. Without movement or airflow, moisture from sweat, natural oils, or even small leaks can begin to build up. That warm, closed-off space becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And where bacteria live, odor follows. At first, I didn't notice anything. You get used to your own scent, after all. But eventually, small moments added up. A grandchild wrinkling her nose during a cuddle, or a subtle comment from a loved one about something musty. Those words stung, not because they were cruel, but because they were true. It was a wake-up call. Now, I make it a habit to stand up every hour, even if it's just to stretch or walk to the kitchen for a glass of water. I've added a simple midday hygiene break to my routine, a quick wash with warm water and a soft cloth to freshen up. It takes less than 5 minutes, but the impact on how I feel is huge. I also change into fresh clothes every day, even if I'm not leaving the house. Not for anyone else, but for myself, because feeling clean helps me feel like me again. So if you've fallen into the habit of staying in one spot for too long, or putting off freshening up because you're not going anywhere, let this be your reminder. Your comfort matters. And so does your confidence. If the couch is comfy, your hygiene still deserves movement. Mistake number 4. Using harsh or scented soaps. For much of my life, I thought strong, fragrant soaps were the gold standard of cleanliness. My bathroom shelves used to be lined with bottles labeled things like Ocean Breeze or Lavender Mist. The more it foamed, the better. The stronger it smelled, the cleaner I felt. But as I got older, something started to change, and I didn't understand it at first. Even after a thorough shower, I'd notice a musty, stale odor by midday. I was scrubbing hard, using all the products I trusted for decades. So why didn't I feel fresh? The answer came during a conversation with my doctor. She explained something I'd never considered. As we age, especially after menopause, our skin becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive. The fragrant soaps and body washes I'd always relied on were actually doing more harm than good. They were stripping away the skin's natural protective oils, irritating delicate areas, and disrupting the pH balance that helps keep bacteria in check. In other words, I wasn't unclean, I was overcleaning in the wrong way. Her advice was simple but surprising. Switch to a gentle, unscented cleanser, or in some cases, just use warm water for intimate areas. At first, I was skeptical. Warm water? That's it? But I decided to give it a try. Within a week, I noticed the difference. My skin felt calmer. I wasn't itching or irritated, and best of all, that strange midday smell? Gone. It was a revelation. Sometimes the secret to smelling clean isn't about masking odor with perfume. It's about removing the very thing that's causing the problem. So if you're still reaching for those floral or citrus-scented body washes because they make you feel clean, I encourage you to reconsider. Your skin deserves better. A gentler approach isn't giving up, it's growing wise. Because smelling good isn't about scrubbing harder, it's about caring smarter. Mistake number 5. Synthetic underwear equals trapped odor. Let's talk about something that lives quietly in your dresser drawer, but plays a big role in how fresh you feel each day: your underwear. For years, I wore soft, stretchy synthetic panties, the kind made with nylon, polyester, or spandex blends. They looked nice, felt smooth, and came in all the right colors and styles. Honestly, I didn't give them much thought. Why would I? They were comfortable, affordable, and easy to find. But over time, I noticed something wasn't quite right. Even after showering, I'd feel damp down there by midday. Sometimes there was a faint odor I couldn't explain, one that made me second-guess myself in public, during hugs, or even sitting next to someone. It wasn't until a visit to my doctor that I found the answer. Synthetic underwear was trapping heat and moisture against my skin. Those fabrics don't breathe well. And when you add in natural body sweat, minor bladder leaks, or postmenopausal dryness, it creates a warm, moist environment, exactly where odor-causing bacteria thrive. Her advice was clear: make the switch to 100% cotton underwear. At first I hesitated. Cotton sounded plain, old-fashioned, something my grandmother would have worn. But I gave it a try, and I'm so glad I did. Cotton is naturally breathable. It absorbs moisture and allows air to circulate, which helps keep you dry and comfortable. I found styles that were not only functional, but actually flattering. And almost immediately, the dampness and odor I had been noticing disappeared. Now, I feel fresher, more confident, and more in control of my body. So if you've been sticking with synthetic fabrics out of habit or convenience, I encourage you to try cotton. One drawer makeover can quietly transform your day-to-day comfort and your peace of mind, because comfort without odor is always in style. Mistake number 6, re-wearing clothes that look clean. We all do it. You finish your morning coffee, look at yesterday's lounge pants draped over the back of the chair, give them a little sniff, and think, these still seem fine. I didn't even leave the house. So you slip them back on, maybe for one more day, maybe 2. It feels harmless. After all, there are no stains, no obvious smell, no real reason to do another load of laundry when the clothes look clean. But here's the quiet truth. Clean to the eyes doesn't always mean clean to the body. As we age, our bodies change in subtle ways that affect how we interact with the fabrics closest to our skin. We may not sweat the way we did in our 40s, but our bodies still release oils, natural discharge, and yes, occasional moisture from light bladder leaks. These substances don't always leave a mark, but they do cling to fabric. Over time, they build up, especially in intimate areas like underwear, lounge pants, or nightgowns. That's why I started noticing something I couldn't explain. Even after showering, even after putting on fresh enough clothes, I'd smell something musty halfway through the day. It made me self-conscious. I pulled away during hugs. I hesitated before getting into a car with someone. I blamed myself, wondering if I was just getting old. The truth was simpler and kinder. It wasn't me. It was my clothes. Fabric holds more than we think. And when we rewear items, especially those made from synthetic materials, we give odor-causing bacteria a second chance to thrive. These clothes may look clean, but inside the fibers, they're holding on to yesterday's moisture and yesterday's scent. Once I learned that, I changed how I treated my clothing and myself. Now, I wash anything that comes into direct contact with intimate areas after just one wear, no matter how clean it appears. Underwear, pajama bottoms, nightgowns, leggings, anything I've sat in for hours. I use hot water and add a splash of white vinegar to the rinse cycle, which helps neutralize bacteria and odor naturally. I separate these items from the rest of the laundry to ensure a deeper clean. I also make sure everything dries completely before folding it away. Even slightly damp clothes, especially if hung indoors, can trap mildew that's invisible to the eye but strong to the nose. This might sound like extra effort, but the result has been a quiet transformation. My body feels fresher throughout the day. I'm more confident leaning in for a hug, more at ease wearing light colors, and more peaceful just sitting in my own space. And perhaps most importantly, I've stopped blaming myself for something that was never about me at all. So if you're in the habit of rewearing clothing because it seems clean, I invite you to pause and reconsider. Your body deserves the comfort of truly fresh fabric, free from yesterday's residue, both physical and emotional. It's a small act of self-care that says something powerful. I'm still here, and I'm still worth showing up for, clean, confident, and completely myself. Mistake number 7. Forgetting to change liners and pads. Let's be honest, no one wants to talk about liners and pads. They're not glamorous, and they certainly don't come up at the dinner table or during chats with friends. But if you, like so many women over 60, wear them regularly for light bladder leakage, postmenopausal spotting, or simply for an added layer of daily comfort, then this is something you need to hear. For a long time, I thought I was being practical. I'd put on a liner in the morning, go about my day, and unless something felt wet or uncomfortable, I'd just leave it there until bedtime. My thinking was simple. If it doesn't feel soaked, it must still be doing its job. Why waste one? Especially when the box costs what it does these days. They're small, they're thin, they're barely noticeable. What could go wrong? Well, quite a bit, actually. I started to notice something subtle but persistent. By the end of the day, I'd catch a faint sour smell, especially on busy days when I was running errands or socializing. I began questioning everything. Was it my detergent, my clothes? Had I skipped a shower without realizing it? The truth was far simpler. My doctor explained that even the best liner absorbs more than just visible leaks. Throughout the day, it quietly collects sweat, natural vaginal discharge, and yes, trace amounts of urine, even if you don't notice a single drop. These moist environments quickly become breeding grounds for bacteria. And while you might not feel it or see it, bacteria aren't waiting for visible wetness to start multiplying. They thrive in that hidden warmth and dampness, producing the very odors that make us feel less than fresh. I was shocked to realize how much I had underestimated this tiny strip of fabric. Once I understood the science behind it, I made a change. Now, I set gentle reminders to change my liner every 4 to 6 hours, just as I would refresh my face or brush my teeth before an outing. I also began exploring reusable cotton liners. They're soft, breathable, and far more eco-friendly than the disposable ones. They wash up easily with a little care and make me feel like I'm taking an intentional step toward my own well-being. At first, I worried about the inconvenience. What if I'm out and about? But I started carrying a small, discreet pouch in my purse. It holds 1 or 2 clean liners, a plastic bag for used ones, and a little packet of wipes. It's simple, subtle, and has saved me from countless moments of discomfort or second-guessing. Here's something else I hadn't considered. Regularly changing liners isn't just about smell. It's about skin health, too. Leaving moisture trapped against the skin all day can cause irritation, rashes, or even infections. By keeping the area dry and clean, I'm not just avoiding odor, I'm protecting my body. And honestly, the biggest change has been emotional. I used to spend too much of my day worrying silently, leaning away when someone leaned in, holding my breath during a hug, or wondering if I smelled off. Now, I walk into a room with more ease, more confidence, and a greater sense of control. So if you're still wearing the same liner from breakfast to bedtime, please hear this from someone who's been there. Your comfort, your hygiene, and your dignity deserve more attention than that. Because even when it doesn't look like anything is wrong, a forgotten liner can quietly take away the peace you've worked a lifetime to earn. Bonus: how caring for your body restores confidence, inside and out. There's something no one prepares us for: the quiet ways aging affects how we see ourselves. It's not just about joints that ache or skin that wrinkles. It's the small, intimate moments. catching a whiff of something off, second-guessing a hug, avoiding eye contact in the mirror. And over time, these things chip away at something deeper than hygiene. They chip away at confidence. When we feel unsure in our bodies, we tend to shrink. We speak less. We move less. We avoid touch. We lose little parts of ourselves that once felt effortless, like laughing loudly, dressing up for a trip to the store, or saying yes to coffee with an old friend. That's why I want to go a step beyond liners and laundry and give you something more, a way back to your sense of self. Here are a few small but powerful habits I've built into my daily routine. Practical, yes, but also emotional. Because how we care for our bodies is also how we nurture our spirits. First, keep a clean change kit just for you. It doesn't have to be fancy. A small pouch in your handbag with a spare pair of underwear, a travel-size wipe, a clean liner, and a soft cloth can feel like armor. It's not just about being prepared. It's about knowing you're prepared. That quiet confidence changes how you walk into a room. Next, start your day with dignity, not just to-do lists. Instead of rushing straight to chores, take 10 minutes each morning just for you. Warm water on your face, a fresh pair of cotton underwear, lotion on dry skin, maybe even a little perfume behind your ear. Even if you're staying home, that small ritual says, I matter today. Then honor your senses. As we age, our sense of smell often weakens. But that doesn't mean we should ignore it. Try washing bedding once a week with a natural scent you love. Use essential oils to lift your mood or freshen a room. When your environment smells pleasant, your mind feels lighter too. After that, move gently but regularly. Odor thrives in stillness. So does stiffness, sadness, and isolation. Every hour or so, stretch. Walk to the window. Open a door. Move your body in ways that feel good. It's not just about preventing odor, it's about keeping your spirit from going stale. Finally, speak kindly to yourself. You are not gross. You are not falling apart. You are adapting, evolving, and doing the best you can with a body that's lived through decades of joy, grief, service, and growth. When you care for it gently, you tell your heart, I am still worthy of care. I always have been. The truth is, hygiene isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's how we claim our place in the world, no matter our age. So yes, change the pad, wash the linens, sip the water. But also, light the candle, smile at your reflection, wear the soft robe that makes you feel elegant. You are not invisible. You are not a burden. You are a woman who has lived, and you deserve to feel good in your own skin, today, tomorrow, and every single day after that. We've talked today about so much more than odor. We've talked about small, invisible battles that many of us face in silence, battles we were never warned about, never taught to name, and often feel too embarrassed to mention. But the truth is, there's no shame in needing to adapt, no shame in learning new habits, and absolutely no shame in taking care of your body in ways that honor the woman you are right now. These aren't just hygiene tips. They're reminders that you deserve to feel at ease in your skin, whether you're curled up with a book, out to lunch with a friend, or simply walking into your own kitchen with grace and presence. Because confidence doesn't always come from lipstick or high heels. Sometimes it comes from knowing you've taken the time to protect your dignity, even in the quietest parts of your daily routine. So today, I invite you to choose one small thing to change. Maybe you'll drink that extra glass of water. Maybe you'll toss yesterday's nightgown in the wash. Maybe you'll finally let go of the shame and buy those cotton briefs your body's been asking for. Whatever it is, do it not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel fresh, confident, and comfortable in this season of life. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What part of today's video resonated with you most? What's one small shift you're ready to try this week? Scroll down and share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be the encouragement another woman needs today. And if you found this video helpful or simply comforting, please consider subscribing to Golden Elders Insight. This channel is here to remind you that aging is not a fading away. It's a gathering of wisdom and a celebration of everything you've lived through. So here's to cleaner linens, fresher days, and the quiet confidence that comes from taking good, gentle care of yourself. Until next time, stay kind to your body. It's done so much for you, and it's never too late to return the favor.